We're Peak Design. Over the past 5 years, we've launched over 20 products with the help of Kickstarter backers. This is our best one yet. But first, we got a story to tell. A while back, this guy right here had an idea, and he brought it to the world through the magic of Kickstarter. He hired me and a bunch of his other friends, and together with Kickstarter, we brought more products to life. Then, this guy called, Trey Ratcliffe, the internet's most followed photographer. And he said, "I'm sick and tired of camera bags. They're bulky foam cubes with messy dividers and tons of dead space." And we were like, "Yeah, we know." And then he said, "I'm tired of switching bags when I'm not shooting. I wish I had one bag that I could use every single day." And we said, "Dude, we totally get it." And then he said, "I want to make a bag with you." And we were like, "Okay, let's do it." So we made an agreement, started collaborating, drew sketches, and built a shop. We sewed prototypes, found a manufacturer, and flew to Vietnam. For 10 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days, we bled, sweat, and dreamt about bags. We studied fabrics, hardware, access, camera sizes, protection, workflows, carry styles, and aesthetics. To make the bag we wanted, we had to reinvent every last part. This is the Everyday Messenger by Peak Design. So, what makes an everyday bag? Sure, it holds cameras. Brilliantly. Adaptably. Safely. Accessibly. And it has the perfect spot for capture. But in designing the best camera bag, we ended up designing the best bag, period. A bag that carries your life, with space for work and play, and instant access to all of it. The everyday bag is for everyone, whether you're a photographer or not. It expands for lots of gear and slims for light everyday carry. It can be worn as a messenger bag or as a classic shoulder bag. The shell is durable, weather resistant, and stabilized for any activity. For the pro, the traveler, the commuter, the parent. For those who take photos like this, and those who take photos like this. The Everyday Messenger by Peak Design. Beautiful, thoughtful, and totally dialed. This is our 5th Kickstarter. Our backers brought Peak Design to life and continue to drive our innovation. Thank you for letting us turn our ideas into products. We love what we do. As always, happy shooting.
My name is Naor Cohen. For the last 3 years, I've been running a caviar substitute business. The process we use to turn our liquid mixture into pearls is called spherification. We've had so many requests to make this process available on the consumer level, and today, this is exactly what we are doing with the spherificator. Once you understand the simple process behind spherification, which we will show you in a few seconds, you'll have endless possibilities at your fingertips, from drinks to appetizers to main courses and even desserts. The only limit is your imagination. Until now, the only tool available to make pearls and caviar using this spherification technique was using a good old syringe or pipette, taking you hours to make what the spherificator will do in seconds. Yes, just seconds. This is the latest innovation in food and beverage preparation. It's a way for chefs, bartenders, caterers, and even home food enthusiasts to really up their games with minimal cost, time, and effort. Let me show you what we're bringing to the table. Spherification can be done using raw ingredients or store-bought products. In this example, we are preparing a mix of red onions with red wine vinegar to form pearls for an oyster dish. Ingredients are thoroughly blended together with alginate. Some mixtures, like this one, blocks a lot of air bubbles during blending. Ideally, set it aside for 2 to 3 hours. In this case, we prepared it in advance. Most recipes can be created immediately without the need to be set aside. In a separate bowl, add your calcium chloride included with your spherificator and blend thoroughly. Add your prepared mixture into the spherificator and off you go, making your own pearls. Depending on the thickness of your mixture, you can adjust the speed of the spherificator, and you can also choose the needle tip if you want smaller or larger pearls. When you are done forming your pearls, transfer them into a strainer into clean water to rinse the excess calcium. You can also rinse them under tap water. Once rinsed, plate and serve. Now we are repeating the same process with Tabasco sauce to create a delicious oyster dish. And voila! With little effort, you can wow your guests every time. You can make anything from regular to fancy dishes. The only limitation is your imagination. We infused water with saffron to make saffron pearls and serve it atop smoked salmon. You've just upped the value of a traditional dish. This is a perfect example of fresh versus store-bought. For simplicity, we used tomato coulis to make our pearls, but you could have used fresh tomatoes as well. In 5 minutes, we transformed the classic Italian appetizer into a piece of art. How about dessert? A classic cheesecake with a side of mint pearls made with fresh mint, and blackcurrant pearls made with store-bought syrup topping the cheesecake. Impress your guests or patrons by making coffee liqueur pearls and serving atop your favorite desserts. And from the bar, celebrate your next occasion with a glass of champagne with floating pearls. How about rum with Coke pearls or mojito with mint pearls? Whether you're a novice in the kitchen or a seasoned chef, the spherificator will elevate your cuisine to a whole new level. The only limit is your imagination and creativity.
To me, there's always been something inspiring about the wet shaving experience. The intentionality, the ritual. It's this time-honored tradition that we teach to our sons and they teach to theirs. But somewhere along the way, we've lost that. What if we could get it back? Our Supply, a startup that is passionate about one thing, supplying you with meaningful goods that are honestly constructed and built to last. And that's exactly what we've accomplished with the Single Edge. When we set out to create a safety razor, we knew it had to be beautiful and inviting. The thought of using this kind of razor can be intimidating, but we've created one that is intuitive and approachable. The entire experience is new, but familiar. The Single Edge uses a single, easily replaceable blade that provides a consistently smooth shave every time. The razor is designed simply but thoughtfully to give you precision and control. And because every man is unique, we've created a razor that can be customized to give you the perfect shave regardless of who you are. Using the razor had to be simple, so every aspect of the shave has been considered. From the way you change the blade to the way you hold the razor, the entire experience has been scrutinized. And when it came to manufacturing and materials, we wanted nothing but the best. So we've chosen the highest grade stainless steel available and a proven industrial process. process. The result of all this is a razor that gives you the finest shaving experience you've ever had. There's an old safety razor I have that I inherited from my grandfather. To me, it's beautiful. It has this rich patina that it's developed over a lifetime of use. Dents and dings that each tell a different story. When he was growing up, shaving wasn't a chore. It was a rite of passage that a boy took to become a man, a meaningful part of his morning routine. His razor reflected that. Some things in life are just worth doing the old way. Shaving is one of them. Bless my soul and take me back to forward. Pack my things, I got my lady too. Here I stay until the Lord is gonna call
I was 12 years old. I was at a family Christmas party. My aunt turned away a glass of wine because of the sulfites. It wasn't until many years after that, and a long time spent learning chemistry in grad school, that I realized really what sulfites were, and that I had the skills and the education to solve what's a problem for a lot of people.
Even today, there's this artisan feel to winemaking. You wake up before dawn, you walk the vineyard rows, you get to work with your hands. And there's something about being connected to the land that constantly reminds you winemaking is a natural process. I've always been told that good wine comes from good grapes, and that's certainly true. But after the grapes leave the vineyard, there's a whole separate process that starts in the winery that most wine drinkers aren't even aware of. More and more vineyards are going organic, and that's great because that means less pesticides and chemicals in our wine. But wineries still need to use preservatives to ensure that wine doesn't go bad during production. One of my first roles at the winery was adding sulfites to the grapes after they were harvested. And that's when I realized how intense these chemicals really are. That being said, I understand the important role they play in modern winemaking on an industrial scale. But if I could remove preservatives from our wine before I drank it, I definitely would.
Sulfites are an essential preservative in winemaking. They're the reason we can enjoy wines from all over the world. Because without sulfites, the wine would never have survived the trip from the vineyard to your glass. But when you're ready to drink the wine, that job is done. So removing sulfites with Ulo lets you bring the wine back to its original state, as if you were drinking it right at the vineyard. This is how Ulo works. You pour your wine through, and the sulfites are retained on a filter material while everything else in the wine just flows right past, completely unaffected. That's selective sulfite capture, and it's important because we want to maintain the original taste and character of the wine and only remove that one thing, sulfites. We know that aeration can be really important for wine. For red wines in particular, it boosts the flavors that are already there, but we know it's not as necessary for white wines. So Ulo had to have the option of turning the aerator on or off. Wine's unique because it works in so many different settings. We can drink it socially, we can have a glass by ourselves. We knew that and designed Ulo to integrate into a glass carafe or decanter if you're serving an entire bottle. But if you're looking to have just a single glass for yourself, it rests on top of your wine glass as well. When developing Ulo, we've worked together to make sure that Ulo always preserves the integrity, the character, and the flavor of any wine.